the Orlando Pro Summer League, the only kind of loss that matters is the kind the Thunder suffered on Tuesday. I'm Mike Sherman, and we're going Thunder cover with our Thunder beat writer Darnell Mayberry, who joins us from Orlando, where today the Oklahoma City Thunder lost its first-round draft pick, Perry Jones III, to an ankle injury. Darnell, how serious is it?
I don't think it's that serious. Perry Jones, after the game, was sort of smiling and in good spirits, and he walked off the court on his own power. So I think he's going to be reevaluated tomorrow, but I don't think he'll play. That's just my guess. I don't think they're going to look at it as something that they would want to risk. So my guess is he's going to sit out Wednesday's game and maybe even the rest of the Summer League, but I don't think it's serious. I think that at this point they probably just want to protect him.
What do you think about what you've seen so far from Perry Jones III?
Well, yesterday he got off to a great start. On Monday in his debut, he scored 16 points, had 8 rebounds, and he sort of put to bed some of the questions about his motor and, some of his skills and what he can and cannot do. He showed a lot of versatility. He showed off his athleticism, and he really impressed. But today, sort of hot and cold. It's the Jekyll and Hyde you get with Perry Jones, and he only had 8 points and 4 rebounds today. He did have 3 blocked shots, and he picked up his activity level in the second half, but I think we saw today what some of the scouts were saying, when he can sort of be hot in one game and cold the next. And, he's going to have to figure out a way as his career continues to sort of limit those spells where he just goes missing from the game. So if he can do that, he's going to be a solid player.
On Tuesday, the Thunder lost its second straight game in Orlando, 78-70 to the Pacers of Indiana. Darnell, what else do you take away from that game? It was 78-74, is that right?
Yeah, 78-74. I think Reggie Jackson really stood out today. He only had 13 points on 15 shots, but just looking at him and how he really tried to orchestrate things out of the pick and roll and high ball screens, I think he's really showing some development. Obviously, the talent level here is not what it's going to be come the regular season, but this is where you work on your game. And when they signed Derek Fisher, that really took away his opportunity to develop and improve during the regular season. So he's got to find a way to get some playing time somehow or another. And I think this is going to be a good first step for him in terms of getting more comfortable in terms of leading a team and running the offense with the ball in his hands. So I think he did a pretty good job of really just being aggressive today, and it was a good first step for him. Yesterday he was a little bit more tentative and wasn't as decisive, but today he showed much more aggressiveness.
The free agent signing period, of course, comes Wednesday, July 11th. The opportunity for the Thunder to sign Hasheem Thabeet, the free agent 7'3" center that they've gotten. He's bounced around a little bit. Will he play in Orlando?
It remains to be seen. I think the team is still trying to figure that out. I think the thing that they're up against is, do you want to throw a guy out there who really hasn't practiced with your team? He's playing with a bunch of guys who won't be here in the regular season, with the exception of a handful of guys. So you have to sort of weigh whether or not it has more benefit or more cost than benefit. So if they feel like he can get something out of the last 3 days here in Orlando, I think they'll let him play. But if not, I think that they're going to have a decision on their hands and say, can we do more developing this guy on our own in individual workouts as opposed to putting him on the court with a bunch of guys who aren't really on the team and they really don't know each other? Is that going to help him? So I think we're going to find out Wednesday. He's going to sign the contract for sure, and I expect to either see him in street clothes tomorrow on the bench, next to the bench, or in uniform on the bench. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Finally, Darnell, Latavius Williams, a guy that's intrigued you for a long time. You've written about him, played in Tulsa, played overseas. What's the latest on him?
Well, he played today for the first time. He was waiting on clearance from FIBA after playing in Spain last year. He finally got the paperwork. They got that submitted to the proper people today, and he suited up and made his debut. Played 17 minutes, 10 points, and 9 rebounds, and a steal. 6 of those rebounds came on the offensive end, so it just kind of shows you his activity level and his athleticism. I think he's a guy that you have to keep your eye on. He's a 2010 second-round draft pick of the Thunder, or they traded for him, a draft night trade back in 2010, but he's got incredible athleticism, and he's got passion, play the game, and he really wants to get better and develop and get to this level. So I think he's one of the guys you got to keep your eye on, because someday he could be in a Thunder uniform. Just watch out for him.
Thanks, Darnell. That's all for this edition of Thunder Cover, but you can stay with the best coverage team anywhere, every day at News OK and every morning in the Oklahoman.